Maybe you didn't feel strong. Maybe you felt empty, but you kept going. Not because it was easy, not because you felt inspired, but because stopping felt impossible. You woke up tired, went to bed tired, and somehow found a way to do it again. You didn't have answers. You didn't have clarity. You didn't even have energy. Still, you showed up. Listen. Some strength doesn't look like confidence. It looks like endurance. Like continuing when there is nothing left to give. Psalms 73-26 says, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart." This season didn't give you room to feel strong. It asked you to survive, to keep moving forward without relief. And you did. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. You carried responsibilities that didn't pause. You carried expectations that didn't lift. You carried weight that no one else saw. And that cost something. Listen. You reached moments where motivation disappeared, where joy felt distant, where faith felt heavy instead of comforting. But you didn't quit. Psalm 66:10 says, "For you, God, tested us. You refined us like silver." Refining doesn't feel purposeful while it happens. It feels exhausting. It feels repetitive. It feels unseen. Heat applied slowly. Pressure sustained. No immediate reward. That is what this season asked of you. You kept going when encouragement ran out, when affirmation was absent, when progress was invisible. And God noticed. Listen. There were days you questioned your own capacity, days you wondered if you had misjudged yourself, days you asked quietly, "Why am I still here?" Psalm 13:1 says, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever?" That question is not weakness. It is honesty. God does not reject honest faith. He meets it. You didn't keep going because you were fearless. You kept going because you were faithful. Faith doesn't always feel strong. Sometimes it feels stubborn, unmoving, resolved. And that faith carried you. Listen. You learned how to function while empty, how to meet obligations without energy, how to care for others while depleted. That kind of strength is invisible, but it is real. Psalms 56:8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings. You put my tears in your bottle." Not just the tears you cried, but the ones you swallowed, the ones you didn't have time to feel. God counted them. This season took more from you than people realized. It drained emotional reserves. It stretched spiritual patience. It required consistency without comfort. And still you stayed. Listen. There were moments you wanted to stop trying. Moments you felt numb instead of hopeful. Moments when rest felt unreachable. Yet something deeper held you. Jesus said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." He did not say the burden would disappear instantly. He said he would carry you. That matters. You didn't quit because God was holding you. even when you couldn't feel it. Listen. This season changed you, not because it was easy, but because it demanded growth under pressure. You became more grounded, more discerning, less dependent on emotion. That is not loss. That is maturity. Psalm 34:19 says, "The righteous person may have many troubles, but the Lord delivers him from them all." Deliverance doesn't always look like escape. Sometimes it looks like endurance without collapse. And that is what God gave you. Listen. You may look back and wonder how you survived, how you stayed upright, how you didn't break completely. The answer is not willpower. It is grace. Grace that met you daily. Grace that sustained you quietly. Grace that strengthened you when you were empty. Psalm 126:5 says, "Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy." Sowing happens before results appear, before relief is visible, before joy returns. This season was sowing. Every time you chose not to quit. Every time you stayed consistent. Every time you trusted God without evidence. Those moments mattered. Listen. You didn't fail because you felt tired. You didn't fail because you felt empty. You didn't fail because joy was absent. You endured. And endurance is not weakness. It is faith in motion. Isaiah 40:29 says, "He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak." God did not expect you to be strong alone. He supplied what you lacked. That is why you are still here. Listen. You may not feel victorious yet. You may not feel restored yet. But you are standing. And that matters more than you know. This season tested your limits. It revealed your dependence. It refined your faith. God never wastes seasons like this. Psalm 66:12 says, "We went through fire and water, but you brought us to abundance." Fire first. Water next. Abundance later. You are still between those moments, and that is okay. Listen. You kept going when you had nothing left, not because you were strong, but because God was faithful. He saw every step, every choice, every silent prayer. And He honors endurance. If this message spoke to your heart, like, share, and subscribe, so it can reach someone who needs it today. And if you feel led, comment, "I didn't quit." May His peace find you today.